Hey Mimi, how much are the eggs?
The eggs are $6.82 US, which is about $9 Canadian for 12 large eggs.
$7 for a dozen eggs in Florida. Meanwhile, here in China, you can get a week's worth of fresh veggies for less than that. From $1 DDs, aka Chinese Uber rides, to $2 market hauls. Why is the cost of living in China so much cheaper than in the US? Spoiler alert, it's not just the cheap labor. Today, we're breaking down the real reasons from, government policies to local hacks that keeps prices low. And by the end, you might just want to move or at least take a very long grocery trip abroad.
Know how cheap and easy to live in China. Here I'm going to buy some vegetables in this supermarket just next to my building, and let's go find out. I walk 200 meters to grab fresh vegetables every day, so I only grab a little each of them. Aside from this green stuff, I also bought mushrooms and coriander, so in total it's less than $2.
Okay, $2 for fresh veggies, mushrooms, and coriander? It's insane, but it's not magic. And here's how China keeps food prices this low. Cities here in China are packed with supermarkets and wet markets that source produce directly from nearby farms. So no long distance shipping, no crazy markups, and that's why she can walk 200 meters and grab daily veggies. It's all super fresh and it doesn't just sit in storage. In China, the staple foods like rice, veggies, and pork, they're heavily subsidized by the government to keep them affordable for the locals. So markets also face price caps on basics, so the inflation hits way less harder than how it would be in the West. So you might be wondering, what's the catch? Well, big cities like Shanghai and Beijing are obviously going to be pricier. Imported goods aren't cheap. So if you want like Italian olives or French cheese, prepare for a price shock. Also, food safety scandals have happened. So locals usually just stick to trusted markets. Still, for fresh local food, China's system is insanely efficient. Would you shop like this? Tiny daily hauls for pennies? Or do you prefer to shop in bulk, like doing your Costco runs? Comment down below. I'm actually curious. Chinese consumers buy small and in frequent quantities. Like she mentioned, they just buy what they need for the day. And that means less spoilage, and the markets can sell in bulk without worrying about the unsold stock.
Guys, China is super cheap and nobody's talking about it. Even though I'm in Shanghai, which is supposed to be the most expensive city in China, I bought this breakfast, soy milk, an egg, and some bread for only 7 yuan, which is like $1. Can you imagine having breakfast for only $1? Crazy thing.
$1 breakfast in Shanghai? Let that sink in. Even in one of China's most expensive cities, this would cost like $8 in New York, $10 in London. But here, it's just $1, about 7 yuan. How? Let's break it down. Here in China, the tiny stalls that you see and the little mom and pop shops, they sell mass-produced breakfast items like, for example, the steamed buns, the eggs, the tea, and so on, for just pennies because they operate on a very thin margin. No rent, no wait staff, just efficiency. And guess what? Those soybeans, those eggs, and wheat are government-backed staples in China. The farmers here get support and the prices stay artificially low to keep life very affordable. In Shanghai, which has 26 million people, the vendors, they buy their ingredients in insane bulk, so their cost per egg is like 10 cents. Meanwhile, in the West, your local bodega probably pays 5 times that.
Now that everyone's downloaded Rednote and they're seeing everything China has, I think it's so funny because my boyfriend and I just spent 2 months living there this summer, and I wanted to share my experience. Yes, guys, China is beautiful. Like when I tell you, it's beautiful. It's affordable to travel. Got my best manicure ever for $10. We would take a DD, which is their Uber, every day. And if it was over $1, we're like, wow, why is it $1.10? Like, it must be peak hour. But everything has its pros and everything has its cons. You'll go to one restaurant and it'll have the heated toilet seats with the bidet. You go next door and it's a hole on the floor where you squat. And I tell you, my squatting skills became impeccable from living in China in 2 months. And my chopstick skills, they did. But actually, a lot of people don't speak English there. We had a translating app that we would use everywhere, and it's not always accurate, so be careful. And they have some strict policies. They only use WeChat. They only use Alipay. There was another one that we would use. So yeah, if you're considering visiting China, there are some regulations you have to go through. There are some visas that, of course, you have to get. But it is very affordable in certain places. Shanghai and Beijing, guys, they're American prices, so don't let that fool you. But the people are lovely. If anyone has any other questions, or if they just want me to make another video to my experience living in China for 2 months, let me know.
This is such a good breakdown of China travel. She's right. It's way more affordable than what people think. Outside of like the mega cities like Shanghai and Beijing, transportation and other services are insanely cheap, like the $1 DD rides and the $10 manicures. But yeah, once you hit like the bigger hubs, the prices start to feel a little bit like back home in the West, like New York or LA. The tech point is key. China runs on WeChat Pay and Alipay. Cash is pretty much dead. So foreign cards, they're not often accepted. So setting these up before you go is a must. And the translation app struggle, Mandarin is tonal, so sometimes it messes up. So pro tip, learn basic phrases like how much, where's the bathroom, and so on. Because believe it or not everyone here speaks English. Also, the bathroom situation is 100% accurate. You find, high-tech toilets besides squat toilets. It's a cultural adjustment. But hey, a free thigh workout, get your squats in. And visas, they're strict about that, but it's very doable. Just apply early and check the requirements. Make sure your paperwork is on point and make sure it matches up with your passport. Overall, her take nails it. China is beautiful, affordable, and full of contrast. Would you want to visit? Let me know in the comments, and if you've ever been, drop your own tips below. But what do you think? Could your country learn from these systems, or do you prefer the way things are now? Is it working where you're living? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more videos like this, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.